I made a deal with Mr. Taylor, the own tailor shop, that I would go out and buy these rims on the weekend. And I would buy an old 04 rim for $5, sell them for $15. So that's how Currie Enterprises started.
My dad was a do-it-yourselfer. I always called him a MacGyver. You know, he could solve any problem with parts and the tools that he had, you know, enjoyed doing it. Long before he got as involved in off-road, he found that the 9-inch Ford rear end was super diverse because of the way it was manufactured. It could be cut and narrowed or widened to any width. There was more gear ratios available for it than any other rear end that had ever been made. There was positive tractions and locking differentials available for it. It wasn't a revolutionary thing, it was evolution.
His whole life was building Jeeps, you know, engine conversions, changing the front and rear ends. As far as building Jeeps, that's kind of what he did as a hobby.
You know, there was nobody offering it to, hey, we're making these rims, they'll bolt in. You know, and that, we kind of started that market of doing that. We were off-roaders, we developed stuff for ourselves. I mean, the rear end thing was there and we were doing it and we were expanding in that. We just expanded our business into the off-road market. You know, when he first started, he was doing a lot of stuff with his Bronco, and then he found out right away the Bronco wasn't the right vehicle for what he wanted to do. To do some of the hill climbs the Jeeps are doing, the Jeeps are like 1,000 pounds lighter. From that, we built a whole product line of Jeep products going forward from there. But that's kind of got us started. That was my dad's idea. Hey, we should all go out and buy ourselves a Jeep and fix them up.
Nobody was doing what we were doing at the time we were doing it. We started building rear ends for Jeeps in the very early 80s. We were just going out off-roading as a family. The Jeeps that we built with our own products on it drew a lot of attention, and everywhere we went, we would come home with orders.
That went on. We had people coming by the shop all the time wanting to buy a part for their Jeep or whatever, and that kind of evolved from there.
Here comes Frank Currie.
I think he's an icon for the off-roading community, and it's not maybe for everything that he did, is because he was able to do it.
All right, good picture shot.
You know, he would do a lot of trips that would get publicity in the magazine or whatever, and then people would want to do the same thing. And so I think it made him kind of an icon, you know. And if you ever went with him on a Jeep trail, you would go out and he would go so fast you would have a hard time keeping up with him. And then you'd want to like keep going on and on and on. Well, we did this trail, let's go do this trail. You know, like one right after another. Go, holy cow, does this guy ever wear himself out?
You know, my dad was always the first one to come upon somebody that was having some sort of issue. My dad would always stop and get him back on the road, whatever it was. That's the way we've always done it.
If someone was broken on the trail, my dad, he'd be there helping them either make it run or get them off the trail in those situations. He's not going to leave nobody. He's like the captain of the ship. He'll go down with it, but he's not leaving you.
Treat the customer as your friend because he is your friend, and we want him to come back. And I've done that all my life, and I pound that into every one of my son's heads, I think. I think it's there. I think we all really believe that.
He had a very unique business sense. You know, every customer was his friend, and that was just unquestioned.
But most of his customers were basically friends. So you talk to anybody who knew my father, that goes kind of unsaid. So he was fair or overly fair to everybody.
He would actually tell us how to treat people and how to get people to work for you. I always wanted to set an example for the people that work for me.
He's contributed so much and so much of his life to off-roading and everything he's been involved with. He's building hot rods and what have you, then the Jeeps and stuff. And he's always, I mean, that was something he personally liked himself, exploring, and I think he always had a plan. He was always thinking of the future. There's something he loved to do, and I think when you like to do something, you're always trying to make it better than what it was, and that's kind of what he strived for, I think, always.